You're listening to ABC Weddings Unveiled, the podcast where we go beyond pretty details and talk about the real business, strategy, and the heart behind the wedding industry. If you're a wedding professional looking to grow, refine your craft, or simply feel less alone in this industry, you're in the right place.
To professional wedding planner. So welcome back. I am Veronica Foster, president of ABC, and today we're talking about growth, real growth in the wedding industry. Whether you're brand new and planning your first wedding, or you've been in the industry for years and are ready to level up, ABC was built to support you at every stage of your journey. In this episode, we're going to break down that growth, what that growth path looks like, from education and certification to networking, income opportunities, and ultimately earning your master wedding planner designation. Joining me today is Nicole Council, ABC's executive membership liaison. She is the one who answers the phones, walks our membership from registered wedding planner to professional wedding planner, and she works closely with our members every single day, helping them grow stronger businesses and more confident in their career. So let's start with the big picture. One of the things ABC is known for is providing a clear professional pathway. ABC is not just a membership, but a roadmap to career success. So Nicole, for someone who's listening today, who may be new to ABC, maybe a new member, maybe a potential member, can you walk us through the growth path? And I know it's a lot, from becoming a certified wedding planner to eventually the master wedding planner designation, and why this particular structure matters.
Okay, well, first of all, hello, everybody. So first, I know what you asked me, Veronica, but I want to start with something else. And I'm going to get to your question, but let's talk about why. Okay, why you should do this, why earn a designation, why have those letters behind your name in this, especially in this industry. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is certification builds credibility. Not only does it build credibility, but it builds confidence. Now, I know when I go to the doctor and I look on that back wall and I see that certificate and I see those letters behind the doctor's name, it says MD. And then when, not that I've ever had to, but I think about in lawyer offices, they have, what is it, ESQ? And I think that's Esquire behind their names and stuff. Yeah, so it makes them credible, especially in the eyes of their clients. And you, when I say you, I'm talking about wedding planners and wedding vendors. You want to be credible with your people as well. So ABC has a 11-page points grid. Don't let the 11 pages scare you or anything. You got to look at it like 11 pages of opportunity. You got to look at it as a blueprint to building your business or a guide. And it's divided up into 5 sections. It tracks your growth, and I call it a living document because it's constantly changing with the things that you're adding to it. Education evolves as experiences grow. So let's get to the designations now. But so I told you your why, and I told you how you can do it with ABC. So when we talk about designations, and I'm going to talk about all of them, because for designations, they are not only just for our planners, but they're for our vendors as well. So we start off at registered wedding planner and registered wedding vendor. You move up to certified wedding planner, certified wedding vendor, and then professional wedding planner, professional wedding vendor. And then you move up into Shelby's territory, where she works with the accredited wedding planners and the accredited wedding vendors, and then the master wedding planners and the master wedding vendors. And so we have it for both our planners and our vendors. Now, you don't just get these designations. You have to earn them, and you earn them by doing the work. The designations reflect real world experiences, not just coursework. So everybody thinks that you get everything from just being in the classroom. Sometimes you need real world experiences, like coordinating a wedding, being part of a membership, a mentorship program, and attending, my favorite one, attending conferences like our WOW conference is coming up in November. Those are the experiences that you get to help build your business. And I'm even throw this one here since I'm doing this one, doing a podcast. So learn,
right.
yeah. Learning from webinars like on, I always get this one wrong. Is it Wedding Wednesday webinars or Wednesday wedding webinars? I know Shelby's gonna get me.
I know it's a lot of W's.
There's a lot of W's, but we have them every Wednesday. And all these experiences, they build your business, they build you. When you grow as a planner, you grow your business, and it is your own pathway. We've been talking about staying in our lanes and creating our lanes and pathways and stuff, but it is your pathway, yours to measure against yourself and not others. So you're creating it as you go. Now, all of this does not happen overnight. Getting this designation does not happen overnight. Just like with anything in life, that is offered to you, it takes time to grow from one designation to the other one. But I get the phone calls in from the register, moving to certified and everything. And when our members move to the next designation, and I start pointing out the different things that they have done, it's like a celebration here. It's like, wow. And they really start thinking back to the things that they have accomplished so far. And I say all that to say, because that is where ABC supports long-term careers, not quick wins. And when they look back and they see the accomplishments that they have made so far, I think it makes them hungry, because they start talking about what they're going to do next. And they're using this points grid to kind of track what it is that they're doing. And then it builds their confidence. They start seeing, yeah, I've done this, so now I can go do this.
Awesome. Awesome. And tell me a little bit about your own pathway. How did, when you started planning weddings and got involved in ABC, and I know that you're getting ready to take another step. Tell us about your journey through your career.
Oh, see, I wasn't even prepared to talk about my journey, but okay. All right. But you know what? I will say this. When I started out planning weddings, not until I joined ABC and started taking classes did I realize I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just going through the motions of doing a wedding, and everything. But actually understanding the business of weddings was where I was missing it. And then I started talking to other planners within ABC, and we're like, oh, I should have did that. Oh, that's what my contract is supposed to look like. So, I say this, I'm building my journey as I am going. My journey didn't start with doing solely weddings all together. I kind of split my career and everything. So now I'm just starting to understand what I should have been doing the whole time. So my journey is continuing.
Awesome. Awesome. And you are participating in the Pathway to Accredited and Master program that is brand new this year.
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
And I was going to say, so, there are several of us that should have, I'm going to be honest with you, my last designation, I moved up prior to COVID, and COVID happened. So everybody kind of paused everything that they were doing. And not that I ever stopped learning, but still doing everything, going to the webinars, educating myself on the new trends and everything. I was going to say this. I finally sat down and said, you know what? Why haven't I moved up? I've still been doing this. So I've sat down and started organizing my stuff. And, since we look back 4 years, I realized I got some things that are about to run out right now. So I need to go ahead and get moving.
Awesome. I do like that, we created these new programs the different pathways, and you're coming up. I don't want to announce it now, but it meets the members where they are. So they don't have to have everything figured out. They just have to get started. And then from there, you and then Shelby go ahead and take them, through to the end. And I think that's, just fantastic. And you mentioned something else in there, doing the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know you and I talk almost, every single day.
Yeah.
And, it's the key. Like, you can't earn something or learn something without doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely, love the way that those things are positioned, because it not only helps our members to earn those designations, but it makes them a very well-rounded person also.
That it does. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, Nicole, what educational opportunities do you feel ABC offers today that help members grow?
Where do I even start? Wow. I don't even know where to get started, because we are doing so much. And you know what? I'm gonna just start with a website, because you can actually find this stuff on our website. So first of all, we have our core career programs, which the I feel like the one that everybody should start with is the CWEP, the Certified Wedding and Event Planning Program. It is a comprehensive curriculum that covers a wide range of topics, especially if you're getting started with wedding planning. I know I hear all the time, oh, I've been doing wedding planning for so long and everything. And I'm like, me too. But you know what? Sometimes just going back and looking at the things that, because you could be doing weddings for a long time the wrong way. I know you said, what's the wrong way? But there are a lot of laws and things that have come up just with as time changes and stuff that you might want to update your cell phone. But taking part in the Certified Wedding and Event Planner Program, it's a 10-week self-study program, but we do have some that are in person if it is in your area. And I say in person, I mean like online with teachers and everything. So we have some of those opportunities. We have a new one, the Destination Wedding Planning course. And with that one coming out, we know now times are changing. You see it on TikTok, you see it on Instagram. People are traveling. They're posting these remarkable, these gorgeous places, and people are going there to get married. So, but do you know the ins and outs of how to do a destination wedding? It sounds easy, but different countries have different laws. So you have to educate yourself on that. We have other core programs like the corporate event plan. If you want to do that course, you're going to learn about doing trade shows and expos and things like that. Floral design, event law, interior design for a special event. You have all of those to do. And now, since and Veronica, correct me if I'm wrong, we partnered with Longevity. And with them and through them and these programs and stuff, we're starting to offer like internships. So sometimes that's another way of being educated. Let me see what else. And that's just from our website. So like I said, every week we have education every Wednesday. There is absolutely no reason for someone not pick up a nugget or learn something every week, because every Wednesday between Shelby and Nicole, we either have a webinar on something educational about the wedding industry, or either we have something about the travel industry. Yes, ABC is a full-blown travel agency, and we educate our members on how to do travel, the business of travel, different suppliers, and travel opportunities. And I want to throw this in too, because at the end of this month, we have the trip, the Bahamas. Is it the Board of Tourism for the Bahamas?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that for a second. That's an educational opportunity. They open up that for ABC planners to spend a couple of days down in the Bahamas, learning about their properties, learning how to market their properties, learning how to do weddings on their property and everything. Our state directors, we just had our meeting. I'm not a state director, but we had our North Carolina meeting where our state director came and talked to us about things that are going on and change. But the state directors have meetings. We have local networking groups that pull together and have meetings and opportunities. We have one coming up the 24th, where our local networking group here in Raleigh, they're going to get together and learn about branding. But all of those things, and I mentioned this before, but I got to bring it up again. Our world of weddings. I can't tell you how much education you get from that, but that is an educational opportunity provided in a classroom setting. More than just being in the classroom, networking at your lunches and your dinners. I learned so much sitting down talking to other planners about things that they're doing, and I bounce ideas off of them. And it's nonstop from the time you get there to the time that you leave. So, and you know me, I'm an educator at heart. So I really believe that education is key to any successful business. The world is constantly changing. The business of weddings is constantly changing. People are constantly changing. So things that you learned 2 years ago are not necessarily the same things that you would put into practice today. Right. The clients you had yesterday are not the clients that you're going to have tomorrow. So you can never learn too much. I'm a lifelong learner myself. So having continuing education, you got to have continuing education, and ABC provides that in a bunch of, it's so much that we do. I probably left something out, but we're going to go with what I just said. Okay.
It is a lot, because I know, even when I was starting and, we didn't have travel at ABC, and, it was, meetings were few and far in between. We still always had our community.
Yes.
And, I know you said you mentioned World of Weddings like twice, and here I'm going in the third time. For me, that was always like a homegoing, because I could talk to people about my business that understood and were going through the same things.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really came across anybody that, said, I can't give you that information. It was always, well, let me give you this. And what is your email? And, let's sit down and talk here. And, it was more of a sharing, it was a sharing and an uplifting. So I definitely love it. I know we talked a little bit about networking and chapters, and the mentorship program.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And of course, education. So there's one other huge part to ABC. What other income opportunities do you know of that ABC opens up for members that they may not have access to on their own?
Woo. Okay, this is a big one. Okay, so I did mention this earlier, but I'm going to start with what is really popular right now. That's destination weddings. Okay, so people are starting to do destination weddings, but when you do a destination wedding, you have to plan. You got to do the travel, the stays, and all of that. So with ABC being a host agency, a travel agency, you get travel commission. But before ABC actually became their own travel host agency, planners had to farm out. They had to either farm out to other travel experts or agents, or they had to just let the hotels do it themselves. But now you can do your own. You can earn commission. You can do the hotel room blocks. Even if it's a local wedding, you have people coming to town to stay for that wedding. So you do the hotel room blocks and you get paid for it and everything. I'm gonna say this. ABC educates you on how to do all of that. So you get free education. Not only that, but we're starting to do a little bit more now. So I think we're starting to get potential leads on some of this stuff that's starting to come
We
in.
are. We
Okay,
are. Couples are finally starting
it's
to
starting
reach
to come
out
in.
and want professionals to handle their stuff. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. I was going to add this in there. This is something that I did last year, and I know Nicole and Veronica, and also probably Margie and Deborah, a lot of them can laugh about this. I did a group travel trip. I was terrified, but it was my first trip that I did, and I did this last year. It was a big group trip. It was a birthday, and they were going to down to the islands, to Antigua and everything. And I was handling all these rooms at one time. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And I just got so much encouragement. And then I did it. And then 3 months later, that check came in. I almost fell out my chair, because even though it was on paper, it wasn't until that check came into the mail. And I held on to it for about 2-3 days because I just couldn't believe it. But that was a really, really big earning opportunity. And what it did was it opened the door for me to do more. So now, when people say, well, do you do such thing? I'm like, why, yes, I do. If I don't know how to do it, I'm gonna feel, but yes, I do. I do that. Birthdays, Sweet 16 retreats, retirement travel, group travel, family reunions, because technically it's planning, and it's planning the hotel room stays, the travel and everything. And like I said, the travel commission from those things are huge. And you get little checks for this and big checks for this. So, but in the end, is something that I wasn't doing before. And now I'm doing it with ABC. And if you're not doing it, you need to do it, because the other thing I want to talk about is brand partnerships, like with Sandoz and Marriott. You have those partnerships that you can post videos. They make things for you to use to market and to advertise. And so when people see that you are partner with this brand, and a brand that they know that is on TV all the time and everything, they start reaching out to you and everything. So you have those opportunities. The only thing about it is you just got to take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of it, then you're losing out.
That's right.
And that's just from the travel side. So another opportunity I want to talk about is the teaching. So you heard me earlier talk about the education, talk about CWEL. We are looking for people that are willing to teach these courses, because in different areas. Now, I know that there are some teachers some people that go into a community college, and Veronica works with a community college, and we figure out, how to make this happen. And they go in and they teach the courses there. You make money per student. You make money per student. You get to, and guess what? We provide the tools. ABC provides the tools. So you don't have to go write up anything. It is right there for you. And a lot of people are doing COVID. People got used to doing things on their own, the self-guided study thing. But now people want to see people. People want to talk to people and see a face and everything. So you have the opportunity to have your own classroom online, or in person, if that works out. So I'm not sure if I hit everything. I know I covered a few things with ABC, because we're always adding something new, but we're always looking for those opportunities or new opportunities for our planners and our vendors to take part in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's for sure. I remember at our town hall, we were on Zoom, and I announced how much we paid out in just room blocks, not travel trips, just room block commission. We paid out over $170,000 last year to, what was it, like 40 members maybe total?
Yes.
It was a very low number for them, these particular members to earn that much money. So for our side, it really just goes to show how many people just aren't taking advantage of that benefit. Like,
Right.
I'm telling you, you can't do it. You want to do it? I'll do it for
I
you.
do it for you. Send me your clients. I will book their rooms. It's okay if you don't want to do it.
That's right. That's right. And I love the education part because, we have some really strong instructors and they use that program to position themselves in their market as the professional.
Absolutely.
So not only do they get clients from it, but they get income from teaching. And then their peers in their market know that they're the go-to person. So I am very proud, that ABC doesn't just teach, we create opportunities.
We do.
Awesome. Awesome. And then, McCall, we've seen a lot of members start out as students, grow into professionals, and then become leaders themselves. And I know you talk to members every single day.
I do.
So can you give me an example of a member whose journey that really represents what ABC is all about?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, there's so many. I can't mention names because if I do, they're like, well, McCall, you didn't talk about me and everything. So I can't mention names, but I can mention experiences. Like I actually had a planner who's in this area where I am, and she had never done a wedding ever before. She was actually taking our it was the prior ABC course, and she, some of the things that she was taking, she was reading about it. She really didn't understand it because she had never experienced it before. So actually, and what was funny was she told me she had never been to a wedding either. So she was experiencing being at a wedding. So I said to her, I said, you know what? Say less. You know what? Come on. I got a wedding for you. So she jumped on board with me and my team, and we did that wedding. And she called me like a week later and was reading from the book what it said. So she like, I understand this. This makes sense now. But I took her from step 1 to step 2 to step 3. So what she was learning and reading made sense. And so now she checks in with me quite often and say, okay, when's the next wedding? When are we doing the next wedding? So, so now we're working on getting her straight to have her own wedding. But I want to also add in, there was some of the success stories. We had a vendor member who actually, we taught actually at, I'm going to say it again, World of Weddings. We sat down and we taught at World of Weddings. And that person said to me, you know what? They were telling me everything that they do and everything. And he said, you know what? I really would love to do a webinar, to talk about XYZ. I said, well, hold on. I turned around to our VP of education and grabbed her and everything and sat down and let that person discuss what they wanted to do and everything. And through that process and other steps, that person's now doing their second webinar coming up and everything. And it's rocking out doing it,
Yeah.
We have members that organize their own conferences. They're speaking across at different places and about not just representing ABC, but they're representing themselves. So their confidence is stepping out. We have members that are doing a whole lot of things. So I can go on forever with more and more stories, but we have members stepping out on faith. They're attending again World of Weddings. I know I keep mentioning that, but that's a big but with ABC, that's a lot of the education. You learn so much from it. But our members are speaking at conferences. They're building their travel businesses. So, and I hear these stories every day, and they call it, and they're proud of themselves. And that makes me smile because I see and hear the confidence in their voice and everything. But, hey.
Awesome. Awesome. And you know what, McCall? Tell them how they can reach you if they have any questions, or, if they're ready to step out of their shell and increase from, a new member from a registered or certified professional to the next level?
Okay, so 2 ways you can reach me by email or by phone. Now, email, you reach me at members with an S, members at abcweddingplanners.com. And then you can reach me at our ABC home office. That number is 336-690-5510. I know that the number by heart. I can close my eyes now and say that number. But yes, but I'm going to say this too. If you call and I don't answer, leave a message, because sometimes I'm on the phone helping other members. I will call you back, because hearing what you have to say is very important to us.
Awesome. If there's one thing I want listeners to take away, it's that they don't have to grow alone.
No.
All of the leadership team is here to help members in any way, shape, or form. ABC was built to support wedding professionals at every stage with education that empowers, a community that encourages, and opportunities that help you build a career that you're proud of. So if you're ready to begin your journey or take the next step toward your next generation, visit the link in our show notes and read our upcoming blog posts for additional resources and member stories. Thank you for listening to ABC Weddings Unveiled. I'm Veronica Foster with Miss McCole Council, and we will see you next time.
And what do I always say? I'll ABC ya.